Hello, and welcome to another podcast style journal entry. Um, there is some music playing outside of the podcast room today, and I don't know how to turn it down. So I really hope that nobody can hear any of that in the background right now. um, I'm doing another one of these podcast styles because I technically have two more I need to do. So this one, and I was planning on doing one on the last day of February, kind of going over everything that I journaled about. And the reason has to do with not having enough pages or journal prompts in my printed journal to actually record me writing in it. So here we are. I hope you don't mind my voice today. So let's get started right at the top. Today, I actually brought with me another Olipop. It's the lemon lime because it was on sale. So instead of $2.50, it was only $1.50. So lemon lime it is today. And the crystal I brought with me was pink tourmaline. I don't know why, but that one kind of like stuck out to me this morning. It's like a small little palm stone one that I have. So I brought pink tourmaline with me. So I'm guessing I need some sort of self love and protection today, especially after the past few days I had. Kind of makes a little sense. At the top, our first prompt is: how are you feeling today? I am feeling optimistic today. The weather is gorgeous, the birds are out singing, like it's really giving spring vibes for the end of February here, and that's giving me optimistic views for what's to come. Things you are grateful for. Okay, this one's going to be oddly specific, but I thought of it before I left my place this morning. I am super grateful for plastic bags that do not have holes in them. And this is because I have to empty a bunny's litter box every morning. And when there's holes in the plastic bag, the litter just goes everywhere. It's not even doing the job that it's supposed to do. So I am thankful for bags with no holes, especially plastic bags. Number two. For this, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being resourceful at this point. I know that might be a little self-centered, but I'm really grateful for being resourceful and using the things that I already have instead of, going out and purchasing more material goods that, if I already had or I already have something functioning, why spend the money on that kind of stuff? So I'm grateful for being resourceful. And number three, I'm grateful for dimmer switches because when it comes to bright lights, especially overhead, I don't have any lamps in my home right now. So the overhead lights just really feel too much, especially in the evening. And there's no dimmer switch. So I am contemplating on potentially getting a dimmer switch for my lights because that is something I'd be extremely grateful for. And I had it at my old place. And let me tell you, that was absolutely amazing. And I can really respect a dimmer switch now. Today's affirmation. I found this one on Pinterest and I thought it was very fitting for this entire journey that I have been on, that we have been on for anybody listening or watching and following. The affirmation is: you're not always going to be motivated, so you must be disciplined. This was a beautiful and gentle reminder when I saw this last night scrolling Pinterest. It was a nice, gentle reminder that, we don't always have to be motivated to do something or to get a job done. We just have to be disciplined enough to just show up. And that's the same thing in my mind as like consistency. Consistency for me was showing up every single day, but my energy levels were never the same. Like in the beginning, the first week, which I'll go over at my last podcast, but I had a lot of energy. And as many of you know, on this journey I've been on the past few days, I've been showing up with very minimal energy, but I'm still showing up. I'm still being consistent and showing that discipline. And it has been very hard to get motivated, but I'm glad that I'm doing it, which means you can do it too. Okay. And the last prompt is my mood today is, I would check happy and creative, actually. Those would be the two that I would check off today. And then at the top, for notes, this is where I'm going to go into my journal section, just audibly. There was one thing I actually did want to write about or talk about, and that is, how do I put this? I don't want to say the word frugal, but I wonder if there's a better word. I am very much kind of a frugal person. I haven't always been, but I really am, especially now since finances are a little tight for me. And I'm realizing more and more that a lot of the stuff that I used to own or that I had is no longer serving a purpose for me. And in the past, I would just get rid of it or donate it. And now I'm finally going through my things and realizing, okay, it's okay to assign a certain value to these things and see if I could sell them. It's like a lot of people use Facebook Marketplace, but I'm also trying to look at other ways to sell instead of just on that one platform. So I'm kind of doing that. I'm starting to dip my toes into that. Another thing that I'm also realizing is that how important it is to not be an overconsumer. So, for example, I have a pet bunny rabbit. His name is Compost. I'm pretty sure I talked about him before. And I have to change his litter box every day. Well, there is an unscented paper that goes usually at the bottom of the litter box, and that's to help absorb any liquids. And then there's usually like a chip wood bedding on top. Right now I have cedar, which technically I should not be using, but it's what I have right now. When I'm through all the cedar, I'm going to switch to aspen chips, but that is to help with odor of any other elements that come out of the bunny. And when you use too much of one or the other, like too many wood chips or too many unscented paper, torn pieces, you go through those resources so quick, especially if you're changing a litter box every single day. And with a bunny, you kind of have to, because their back end can have like a lot of problems. And I'm realizing that in the past, I used to do 2 scoops, like in my hands, like 2 big scoops of each of those paper and cedar chips. And I started noticing how quickly those resources were depleting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not made of money. I can't keep buying like the bulk stuff and then going through it within 2 weeks. I need to make it last at least a month. So I started dialing everything back to just 1 scoop. And I was a little worried because, the litter box can get dirty pretty quick. And I realized this past month, by dialing everything back to 1 scoop, nothing changed. Nothing changed at all. There was only 2 times that I actually had to wash the entire litter box bin, and that was with soap and hot water. And if that's what I have to do in exchange for purchasing these big bulky items, having them sit around, going through them really quick, and being like, oh my gosh, where's all my money going? If I just dialed it back to 1 scoop and 1 scoop, it still gets the same job done. It also, doesn't go through my resources as quick. I'm actually cleaning the litter box bin a little bit more often than I used to. So all around, by not being a consumer or overconsuming, it's really helped me out. And that's something I'm realizing even with my bookshelves. I used to be a proponent collector of books, and I realized that if I don't have the space for these books, especially on my bookshelf, is there a cheaper alternative that I can do? There's Kindle, there's the Books app on my iPad. So I started consuming books that way, but also looking for thrifted books instead, ones that are a little bit more beaten or writing inside of them. Because why buy something brand new when something that has been used is still serving that same purpose? And I don't know, this thought has been running through my mind a lot. I kind of wouldn't mind doing a longer form conversation about it, but I might hold off on that because, I don't want to divert my content too much. I'm really trying to stay focused on, the publication stuff that I'm putting out and that my small publishing company is putting out. But maybe I'll do a long form podcast on this. And that leads me to ask, does anybody else kind of struggle with dialing back? Have they dialed back and was it too much? Did it work out? Is this something that you would call frugal, or would you just call it being mindful of consumption? I'd love to hear your thoughts about this because it's been running through my head since last night and I didn't even have any dreams. I think I made myself so tired thinking about this topic that I actually just got asleep. But yeah, with that, I hope everybody is having an amazing day or night whenever you are listening to this. And I really hope that these journal entries have been really helpful. Would love to hear your feedback on any of it because, I am always looking to grow and improve and make content for not just myself, but for the people that want to consume it. Although the last conversation we had is I try not to look at analytics too much because that does get to me, but I'm still going to be here listening and reading all your comments and whatnot. And with that, I will talk to you on the next one, which will be February 28th. And the next few days will be the journal entries of me writing. Until then, bye.